All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are back with another one. It is Brian S. Arnold here, and it is the Authority Project. And I have my new good friend here, Kim B. Miller, and she says she's going to show why bad branding is a growth killer for creatives. Is that right, Kim?
Absolutely.
Okay, well, we shall see. We shall see on this amazing episode of the Authority Project.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, feast your eyes and tune your ears. It's that time again. We are live with another episode of The Authority Project. It's the video podcast streamed on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Periscope, where we talk to digital marketers, business coaches, and creators of all kinds on how they've built authority in their field and how you can mimic their success. Developing authority, building your audience, and attracting better clients to your own business. Now, without further ado, let's bring to the virtual stage your host, Brian S. Arnold.
All right, and we are back with another one, folks. It is The Authority Project. I'm your host, Brian S. Arnold here, and you are the project. We want to slap authority to your name so you can sell more of what you're great at. And I am honored here to have the great one we call Kim B. Miller. How are you doing today?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
I am awesome. Thank you so much for coming today. And we have a lot to talk about for creatives and about bad branding and how that can be a growth killer. But before we dive into that, please, Kim, can you tell us who Kim is? Who is Kim personally and then professionally?
Okay. Personally, Kim is a mom. I'm a poet, so we get wordy. So
I'm ready.
of four, two from the heart, two from the stomach. I did warn you. So what does that mean?
Yes.
So two pushed out the old-fashioned way, and two added through my heart, to my heart, through marriage. So a total of four. And I've been married for quite a while now. So love writing, two cats, great family.
Nice. Awesome. So I always ask this of a lot of my guests here, actually just about all of them. Do you have a daily routine before we dive in?
No, I don't have a daily routine. I believe professionally, I'm a poet, facilitator, motivational speaker. I'm the Poet Laureate for Prince William County, Virginia, Manassas and Manassas Park. I'm the first African-American Poet Laureate for PwC. And I don't have a structured, at 10 o'clock you must write, at 10 p.m. you practice poetry. No set schedule, no.
Yeah. I can imagine it is different for creatives to try to just pop something out there into thin air, because I'm a singer-songwriter myself, and it's just like it doesn't always come like that. I think people think it's just like all like that all the time. So let's dive into now. Let's get it right into it, Kim. Let's dive into this thing for our creatives here. Why is bad branding a growth killer?
Well, there's a couple of reasons, but even if you're a poet or if you're a singer or if you're an artist, someone who paints, what happens a lot is you start off in one area. Let's say you do, you say, well, I'm going to dive into talking about myself, painting about pictures about myself, singing songs about myself. Nothing wrong with that. But everything you do is branding who you are and what type of artist you are. So when you do that repeatedly, people kind of put you in the box. And you say, well, I don't have to stay in the box. Oh, that's true. But we're talking about branding. So you don't want to brand yourself as a singular item and then say, why aren't I getting hired for other things? Well, if you just mainly do poetry about you or sing songs about you or paint pictures about you, and I'm doing a play and I'm looking for someone to hire to sing on that, and I want them to sing other people's song or write a poem about somebody else, I wouldn't necessarily come to you because you have branded unofficially yourself as someone who typically stays on the subject of you.
Wow.
So that's how you kill your growth without even realizing you're killing it, because If someone's looking to hire people, they look for people who are diverse, people who, if they've seen done something that they're asking for normally, or they see the potential of that person doing something that they're asking for. So if I was a singer and I only sang opera and I wanted someone to do R&B, and you do R&B, but I've never ever heard you sing it, I branded you per you, you branded you as
Mm,
an opera singer.
yeah. That's awesome. I never ever thought of it like that, but it is so true. So let's dive more into that. So what should we be doing to get out of that box? Should we be diving into our category, to our niche more? How does that work as far as a blueprint for us?
Number one, I'd just say be very careful of what you call yourself, because sometimes your name your name is definitely part of your brand. Your social media name is part of your brand. So if you name your brand the opera singer, the history poet, and I'm not doing a history program, I'm not going to be looking toward you to be involved in my program or necessarily involved in something I'm doing. So be careful what you name yourself. Name yourself something broad so that if you grow into different subjects, you may say, well, I want to do opera. That's all I want to do. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But it's hard to rebrand yourself after you've established the brand and people know you as a certain brand. So leave your brand name open to growth. So if you decide later, I'm going to go into different avenues, I'm going to sing about different things, I'm going to write poetry on different things, I'm going to draw pictures on different things, whatever creative field you're in, you've left that name has left you open to that growth. So that's one area. Don't name yourself so singular threaded.
Mm,
The next thing is, if you say, well, right now I want to start off in this particular genre, this particular form of writing, absolutely nothing wrong with that. Do that. Absolutely do that. But also mention when you're performing, this is something that I just love at this moment. I'm really diving deep into this. I'm open to all genres. I'm open to all forms of writing so that people that hear you and see your work know that this is not just what you do. If that's all you talk about and all you show, that's all they're going to know.
I'm conflicted, Kim. I'm conflicted. All right. Let me ask you this here, because just in the music just taking the topic of music, I know. Well, I see your point where, because I've seen people who sing like gospel stuff. The people you'll be in church singing their praise worship stuff, and then they branch out and try to do their own thing, and then it's like more contemporary, and people are like, this isn't the person that we know.
Right.
So,
How
so
dare some people will get upset? Like, how dare you? You're not being true to your faith. You're not
okay,
blah, blah,
yeah,
blah, blah, blah. You're
right,
backslide. It's like, no,
right. So that's the importance of that. So gotcha. That is the importance of that. Now, what about? Because I'm also thinking about if you're doing too much though, and then there's no niche anywhere where you're singing everything. And is that what people really want, or are you going to be spreading yourself too thin? Maybe if I'm singing opera, I'm singing country, I'm singing R&B, I'm singing, you know, folk blues and grass, or the same thing. But or maybe like when you're writing or you're doing poetry, you're doing every little thing. Are Is there a place where you might be doing too much because it's just too much to bear, or is this
yeah, I
you're
got
you're spreading yourself too thin? What do you think about that?
I don't think there's such a thing as too many genres for you to dip in if you're comfortable and good in all those genres. However, if you're really just saying, I sing all these or I write all these and you really can't, then, focus on the ones that you're strong on and work on the ones you're weak on. So when someone says, hey, can you sing country? And you go, absolutely. And you go into that great country song. If you're a poet and they say, well, can you write about woman empowerment? And you say, absolutely. And you can go into that poem about woman empowerment, or whatever the subject matter is. If you're that artist and they ask you to paint this picture on bridges and they've only seen you paint pictures on people, that you can show them that absolutely I can do that. So I don't think there's such a thing as being dipped into too many, as they call it, hands in too many cookie jars, unless you're unfamiliar with the cookie. And then I'm saying, learn the cookie so you can be
Right,
good at
right,
the ingredients.
right. Okay, now I'm coming back. It's coming back to me now. I think we're on the same page now. We're on the same page now. So, got it. I totally understand that. So, how does one recover, Kim? When we've been doing this one thing all this time, how do we recover and pivot into a brand that works in that doesn't shock everybody based on what you're just saying? It doesn't shock too many people. Is there a way to ease into it? Is there a way to like say it out loud? Like this is what I've always, been about before. I know because like I'm doing a lot of things right now on my socials, and they're like, Brian, I had no idea this was what you did. That you're doing podcasting and you're
Yeah.
writing a book and all these kind of things. Is there a way for it to get it out there without being like a shock factor?
Actually, the shock factor is not can work in your advantage if you use it correctly. You can say, "Oh, you didn't know? There's many sides to me," or "I'm multifaceted." There's ways to turn it, and people are coming right out and saying, "Guess what? I'm rebranding." They're not just throwing it out there and saying, "Ooh, I'm different." They're saying, "I'm actually rebranding." So that's okay too, and saying, or I've been doing this in the wings, and I finally decide to make my premiere in fill in the blank, or I decided to let you in on this thing I've been working on, this book I've been writing. Surprise. So there's ways to rebrand and also to rename yourself. So in that rebranding, you can also rename yourself. If you were the painter that cooks or that paints only things that cook, rebrand yourself, rename it, use that time to open people's vision on what you can be. But you have to be comfortable in that so that when people come at you with, "Oh, I thought you only did that." That was my first stage. That's stage one. Wait till you see stage two. So you can make it stages, you can make it premieres. There's so many different ways you can do it so that you're not stuck in what you previously said you were, the only avenue you were going to walk down.
Yeah, that's that. I like how you say that. It kind of reminds me of Kobe Bryant, God rest his soul, where he was just a basketball player, and then all of a sudden you write.
Right.
You're a writer. You actually do this, and this is like he said, has always been his childhood dream to be a writer, to write. So this brings me to another point. Then, are we aligned with what we really want to be doing? Is that an issue too, where we're just putting stuff out there and let me put this out to you now, Kim. Let me put this is going to hit you, okay?
I'm ready.
This hit you. So we're doing all these things because of people say we need you to do this, that, and the other, but you don't really want to do that, Kim. You really don't want to sing country.
Right.
You really don't want to write about this, that, and the other. You want to write about this. And I've done that too. Like it's like I don't want to write about cryptocurrency because that means I have to go and research cryptocurrency. I don't want to do that, Kim. So what are you saying here, Kim? What about aligning yourself with things that are more for your heart, where your heart is in it? Because I'm all about that.
I am absolutely 1000% behind you doing what you truly want to do. The things that I've mentioned are for those who really want to branch out and do all these different things. If your true love is opera and you only want to sing opera and you don't care who comes and offers you something else, then you just kindly say, "I sing opera, that's the love of my life, and I'm not interested in anything else, but I appreciate you reaching out to me." Be true to who you are, be true to who you want to be. We're all multi-talented people. Figure out what sings to your heart and soul and pursue it. Don't let dollar signs or anything else move you from a point to which you are happy with. This is for those who are happy and their soul is talking to them, their heart is opening, and they've said, "I need to branch out," or "I branded myself this way and I really needed to open up who I really am so people know that I'm available." No one can hire you if they don't know what you do or what your love is or what your passion is or what you really want to do. Because if they've only heard you speak poetry about history and they're looking for someone to have a powerful empowerment poem for this particular event, if that's you and that's something you've always wanted to do and you have 15 written but you never spoke because you kind of branded yourself this way, then be open to saying, I'm also this, but be also very clear on who you are not and who you are not willing to be. Your heart has got to speak before you let your tongue get you in trouble.
Yes, I love all that passion. I love it. I love it. But I'm going to hit you with another one now. So, hit you with another one here. So, how do we go about this, Kim? I understand the importance of, especially for people, now I'm thinking about like somebody in the band
Right,
who, you can't just play one thing
right,
and expect you to be able to go to different gigs. You have to be you should know different styles of what to play. So
right.
I understand that kind of thing. So how do we get this done, and how fast can we get this done as far as getting our multifaceted selves out there so people know what we really can do, all the things.
Right. First, I'd say do it in a stage and level that's comfortable for you. Some people can release multiple things at the same time, feel comfortable, secure, and actually be able to deliver on those points. Don't say you can deliver something that you are not proficient in. It's okay if you're learning, it's okay if you're not there yet, but don't over promise. That's the killer of growth. People saying, I could do this. And then someone hires you or you get, a gig and they go in and you can't do it. So don't over promise. Do not. And it's okay if you said, I'm new at this. This is stage one for me. I'm just dipping into this. I'm learning it. I feel proficient. There's a lot of words and terms you can use to let people know that this isn't your, the air you breathe, so to speak. This is something new that you're stepping in. But once you say you can do it, be ready to do it. Either do it in stages or do it all at once. Whatever is comfortable for you is the way you should do it.
That's great stuff. Great stuff. Oh gosh. Okay, I got so much I want to say, but so much I want to say. But let's break it down to this one simple thing.
Okay.
What is the single most important thing you think creators should be doing with their brand to make the most impact right now?
Definitely to be able to speak on yourself and your brand. I cannot tell you how many times I'll tell people, tell me a little bit about yourself. And I'm silent for a reason, because that's what I get. Or, well, I'm a poet, or I sing, or, I draw. That's your elevator speech? And I know you hear elevator speech and you're sick of hearing an elevator speech. And I get that. But you got to be able to tell. If I'm someone who knows someone and you don't know that, right? Which I'm not. I'm just saying. Let's pretend. And I was looking to hire somebody, and the first one I go to, I said, well, tell me a little about yourself. Yeah, I do a little something here and there. Yeah, I sing, whatever. Oh, okay. I go to the next person. So tell me a little about yourself. Why, I sing powerful notes that reach to the sky and bounce back and hit you in your heart. Oh, which one of those persons are you going to be speaking to?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And that person has to back it up too. That's the only thing.
And then they go into some J HUD note. And you're like,
yeah.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Yeah. Yeah. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I got another question. Should we get feedback from others about what our brand should be, or should we know instinctively what that is?
I think it depends on who's giving you. I'm big on discernment. You got to know who's giving you advice. Be careful who's whispering in your ear. Do they have the knowledge that they're giving? Girl or guy, or let me tell you, blah, 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 because we all have those friends or family or people in our lives or, acquaintances. What's their specialty? How is this knowledge helpful? What is their point? In other words, are they coming from a place of helpfulness, or are they coming from a place of you don't need to be doing that? Because when they're coming from you don't need to be doing that, no matter what comes after that is not going to be helpful for you, because they're not trying to be helpful. They're just trying to get you off your path. Yeah. So what's that person's ultimate purpose? That's one. Two, is the information relevant to what you're doing? I remember I was on Instagram one day, and someone who I really like is a poet was talking about plumbing. What she didn't know is my husband is a master plumber, plumbing, plumbing manager. And the stuff she was saying was absolutely untrue. Why are you listening to a poet telling you about plumbing? So know the person's background. So if they tell you, well, you're singing that note a bit off. Oh, okay. Are you a singing coach? Are you a singing specialist? Are you a singer? Are you where is this information based on? Not based on, well, I didn't like the note.
Yeah.
What, know where the information is coming from. So what if you went and changed the note based on what so-and-so said, and then you went to a professional gig and they're like, what note is that? Well, it's G because I spoke to so-and-so and they said that was what a G. Who is so-and-so? Well, exactly. Exactly. What specialty is the person who is giving you information or critique or advice? Because if it's not coming from someone who has the knowledge base or helpfulness that is looking to help you, it could just be someone who's, there to tear down or doesn't want to see you go further than you are. So know the source, know the point, and know the specialization.
Awesome. And as we wind down and wrap this up, because you just stuck a chord in me today. I'll tell you what. We're talking about music. That is, you're spot on with this. You really are. So I'm gonna give you one last question. I'm gonna ask all of my guests. Go something like this: that people who are watching you now, they'll be listening to you later, and they love what you're doing here. They love what you're speaking about. They have similar goals, similar journeys as you, and maybe they want to help other creators with their branding, make sure that they're not stunting their growth with their brands. Can you tell them, and I'll have you put it in your own words, how they can become an authority in this space?
To become an authority, know what you're speaking about clearly, be able to speak on it clearly. Sometimes we get so highbrow with our explanations, trying to sound important, that the very people we're trying to help don't even understand the answer we gave. Speak in clear, concise, easy to understand terms. Drop those big words for a presentation. You don't need that when you're trying to explain to someone where they need to be. You want to make sure they get it, they understand it, and they clearly know the next steps they have to do, the next steps they need to work on, the next things they need to research. If it's so highbrow that the person doesn't feel comfortable asking, well, I didn't even understand half the stuff they said, but I didn't want to interrupt because, they were on a roll. None of that is really helpful. So stop I say stop at intervals in between and have them repeat it. What did you hear me say? What do you think I just said to you? What is it you think I said you need to focus on? So you can make sure that everybody's on the same page. Growth happens when everybody's looking at the same apple at the same angle and sees the exact same problem. If I'm looking at an apple and you're looking at a giraffe, this problem or issue or growth will never be solved because we're not even looking at the same thing in the same manner.
Amazing. Amazing stuff. Absolutely great. Kim, you're awesome. Can you tell people where they can find you after the show?
Absolutely. Thank you. So you can find me at my website, www.kimb, just the letter B, kimbmiller.com. That's my website. And most social media, I'm PWC, Poet Laureate 2020. No spaces, no caps, nothing.
Awesome. All right, we're about done. I'm so full right now. I mean, I would love to have you do some of your poetry. If you have anything in your heart to share, feel free. And I'm gonna give you the floor again if you like.
Okay, so I'm going to do some short ones. They're called haikus.
Nice.
So haikus are very short poems. They're only 3 lines, a total of 17 syllables. They started in Japan only on Nature and Flowers. And their non-traditional ones are called senryu. And most people do senryu, but we still call them haiku because it's still in the haiku family. So, haiku. It's okay to be scared. Do it anyway. Scared people succeed too. Haiku. Please recognize your accomplishments, or you will label them failures. Haiku. Though it ends in S, happiness is not plural. All you need is you. And I'll end with this one. Haiku. You were looking for someone powerful. I just showed you your mirror.
Amazing. Amazing stuff. Amazing stuff. Awesome. Awesome. That was incredible. And such passion and such power. And you can tell right away that she is an authority in that space. I'm right about it. So people, we're good. I am good. Kim, you're amazing. You're good. So make sure you go and check her out. Just amazing, amazing woman. So I'm gonna end it here and say my last thing, which I always say to everybody: remember, remember, remember. Build it, share it, and they will come. We'll see you next time. We're out of here.
And that's a wrap for this episode of The Authority Project. Thanks so much for tuning in. And if you like what you heard, we want to hear from you. Subscribe, rate, and give an honest review. Share and tell your friends so they can hear too. And for even more authority-building tactics, be sure to sign up at theauthorityletter.com. Get free weekly content and ongoing digital product giveaways to help you on your entrepreneurial journey. We certainly hope you got a key takeaway, or maybe an aha moment from today's broadcast. Just remember, it's your authority. Build it, share it, and they will come. Until next time.